Are you gonna get Modern Warfare 3 or what?
I think I am because like I'm kind of like in a position now where I can actually start buying games,
Oh, that's
again,
good. That's
and
cool.
like the money that I'm making is starting to like really like show uh that like I have a little bit of financial freedom again, and so yeah, ever since I just limited myself just to one job, now things are starting to like recoup itself, and I'm doing better. And still, I was just like,
Oh, that's good.
oh my god,
The only thing
yeah,
I want to play is just the zombies, man. That's all I really care about. Treyarch zombies has always been my thing, but I know it's
dude.
not
There's
even.
actually a game that I've been wanting to play for like ever, and it's
Mhm.
called Sea of Stars, and it's like a JRPG, but it's like a turn-based JRPG.
Straight up, I'll check it out. Let's get it.
Do it.
What is up? Welcome back. It is a Sunday night, and you're here with the Average Boys podcast at the Sunday Fun Day podcast that we just created last week, testing out Sundays. I am here with my co-host and my good friend Trigger. Trigger, what is up, my dude? I feel like I don't get to talk to you as much. Adulting has caught up with us, and
Dude,
yeah,
it really has, man. Like
it's good
you and
news.
I always seem to like just be like boom boom, but like never like here, man. Never
Oh
crossing
yeah, straight
streams,
up,
bro.
straight up. What's been going
But
on, man?
no, man, good, man, good. Working at the bar a whole lot, just doing big moves over there. But like I had stated last week, that's kind of like where my like a lot of my attention is, especially on the weekends. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm out there from 6 to 12, and so obviously that's like the times that y'all were we were doing the show on Fridays and stuff like that. So these Sunday shows, like for me, are like perfect. I took a heckin' big nap earlier, and I just feel so much better now.
Yeah, Sundays are. I mean, it's a little bit weird for me when Friday comes along. This past Friday, I ended up just going back to the gym. It's kind of like my safe space, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm comfortable with. But like, it's so crazy, dude, because I haven't had a Friday off since prior Corona, I guess you could say, since previously before the coronavirus.
I mean,
So
yeah, dude. I mean, we've been kind of going at it. I mean,
4 years,
I think I got into the show.
2.5,
No,
two
dude,
and a,
it's been
been three.
four. I think, yeah, no,
Yeah,
three,
about 4
four
years.
at least. Because
Yeah,
I mean, when Corona had rolled around, we had already been doing it for a year, but we were on
yeah,
RGV
about a year and a
Titan.
half.
Yeah, but we were already like on the RGV Titan, like bandwagon.
Page, yeah.
Yeah, and so like obviously we were doing our thing with them. Uh, but I mean, dude, it was good though. I mean, we made it work, especially during Corona.
And that was the whole thing. Like, we really wanted to push on this idea that Friday nights was going to allow people to have a place where they can still kind of congregate, meet up, talk nerds and stuff, since everything else was closed off. But
Yeah,
we saw it in the numbers wise when it came to the podcast that Fridays after the world kind of opened up, slowly they would start trickling, and more people started getting out, which is what we wanted, and everything like that. So now we're going to try. Now we get the opportunity to really move our podcast around and really figure out where we can have a staple on it. So the one that we were able to all agree on was Sunday nights. And the reason why, an hour and a half Sunday nights. Right now, people are starting to wind down from all the weekend. All the going out and seeing family and stuff like that. Maybe some people are still out there. When Sunday football or whatever the fuck, some sport event is going on. But we really wanted to have this opportunity to still maintain our fan base and in a really cool place for people to just join. And we just hope that everybody kind of like digs the Sunday times. So yeah, and like we said, we're not really going with the format. We're trying to kick back off of the format of doing like a full, what was it, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours that we were doing before?
yeah. I mean, at
Yeah,
least
almost 3 hours, right?
Yeah, at least. I mean, I know that there were some shows that we were easily doing 3 hours,
Yeah, I was
like
like,
with
there's nothing wrong.
like no problem.
There's nothing wrong with that either. It's just, we have a good time. We get the opportunity to talk and converse with people in the comment section. Shout outs to David Garcia from the Collectors, and Robert Flores, Big E, my boy Big E, longtime listeners. Thank you guys so much, man. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, and we just wanted to make sure 3.5 hour shit. LMI. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. But that's the thing. Like sometimes we just get carried away. We have a good time with our conversations. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to it. But for the last, I want to say like 3 or 4 shows already, we've been able to pull off the hour and a half, hour 45 maybe. So
Yeah.
it's been going pretty good. It's been helping us out. Mentally, it's been helping us out because we feel like the conversation goes so fast that we can stay up and pushed and keep the conversation flowing and good and stuff. And we got a pretty good amount of stuff that we're going to be talking about this week, of course. So, but other than that, Triggs, how's everything going in your life with the bar, and how are the boys at the Still Tap? Like, how's it all going, man?
Good, man. We're like, kind of playing with the idea, like we're playing with the idea, and I throw this little nugget out there every so often, and the big man up in, in charge, he's kind of for it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if he's joking, but at the same time, there's a few times where I know that he's not. And it's to possibly have like one time have the podcast out there, and
okay.
two to see if we can set up a LAN party out there.
A LAN party?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like
he's
for
a
gaming and stuff?
yeah, he's a huge gamer.
But I thought,
huge gamer.
I mean, not to throw a wrench in it, because I love gaming too. I thought the whole thing with the Still Tap, like the bar, it has a very important theme to it, doesn't it?
Well, it's a very whiskey lounge. Yeah, it's a very whiskey lounge, speakeasy feel. And while that might be the case, one thing that a lot of gamers like seem to get, especially
Depression
when
and drinking problems.
Well, not just that, dude, but like look at all the gaming, like all the gaming cocktails, dude. All of those are like really
true,
pretty
yeah,
looking cocktails. And my place being what it is can facilitate something like that.
Okay, well I mean, that works. I mean, the thing is like if you guys can make it work. I know there's a very niche audience that the bar itself is trying to get, which I think it's been pretty successful at reaching right now. It feels like a very great speakeasy. I know that there's like a somewhat of a dress attire that has to be like not enforced, but it's
highly encouraged.
Highly encouraged, yeah. And yeah, I've seen your guys' advertisements. I've seen the pictures, and they look very cool. I've been wanting to get out there myself. I love all you guys. So just being able to see everybody once again is always a good thing as we get old in these times. You know what I mean? So maybe you get the opportunity. But yeah, dude, where's the Still Tap located? Just to let people know.
It is located on Sherry Road. I think it's like 600 North Sherry Road or South Sherry Road, like Suite C.
Is it next to anything or no?
Next to Taboo, for anyone who knows where Taboo is on Sherry Road, or it's like catty corner to La Cerveceria, which is like a really popular like liquor store in that area.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so like where the Advanced Auto Parts is, kind of like right up the street and stuff like that, like off of 83. Like if anyone, 83, like almost Sherry and 83.
Okay, cool. We got to make sure you guys go check it out. The Still Tap, really great place. Mark, my man, chew a new podcast in the comment section. Shout out to you boys, man. Can't wait for you guys to do your ideas coming up right next to Jimmy Eats. Yeah, right next to Jimmy Eats. Correct.
Yeah.
Mark, in the comment section, you have to let us know what's your review on the Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare 3. I've heard some ups and downs. A lot of people are telling me the multiplayer is kind of because there's a kind of an interesting learning curve. But what I'm interested in is hearing people tell me about the open world zombie game and what they think about that format. I mean, yeah, they did it once before in I can't remember the series it was. I want to say it was like 2 games before. But yeah, Oh, all right.
Rob, you gonna be mega disappointed.
Yeah, we're gonna hear about it today.
Yeah, you gonna be mega disappointed, my guy.
Okay, Mark says that he's a big storyline guy. How do you feel about the Modern Warfare story? Because as a matter of fact, that's what I've heard a lot of people complaining about. That this feels more like a DLC for Modern Warfare 2 instead of it being like a standalone game that costs like close to $70. Let me know in the
Dude,
comment section that people know.
what I always thought was they were just basically recreating the Modern Warfare games that we played back in like the 2000s.
That's
When everything came,
a bunch of maps and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So I was like, okay, like I thought that story was fucking gorgeous, and I loved it when it 1st came out. Like I couldn't wait to play the next one. Especially the whole stuff like that would go on with like Makarov and stuff like that. I thought it was amazing. So like the people who have a problem with the storyline, I'm like, did you not play the first one? Or is this like a new entry to the series for you? Or
when it comes to the multiplayer, a lot of people are complaining because of the fact that I want to say they got like maybe 2 or 3 new maps, and there's like 7 or 8 of all the old maps, which is cool. You get revamped or whatever. But I think people are just craving the idea of getting new content, which isn't, it's not too far fetched. But the story, I'm not really up on the story at all when it comes to what Modern Warfare 3 is about. A custom sponsored drink. Actually, Georgie, you already know this. Georgiana's in the comment section. My boy, man, I feel like I haven't seen you forever, my man. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, man, and I gotta go visit you soon, man. I promise. But yeah, that's the only thing that I've heard about Modern Warfare 3 that a lot of people are complaining about is that the story is kind of like it falls short of giving us what the original Modern Warfare felt like. But then again, like as gamers, right, Triggs, like we can kind of come to terms that a lot of these games that get continuous storylines, sooner or later they start to fall flat. Halo was one of the ones that did that towards the ending of the series, where a lot of people were disappointed with how it handled itself, with like Cortana going off and becoming like a god of like this of space as an AI, Master Chief being chased down by other Spartans or whatever. Like there was a lot of disappointment in the storyline, but people still played it and still clamored at it. You still had a good fan base. So I kind of think like maybe Modern Warfare 3 is getting to that where like maybe they do have to make a change. This whole battle royale and multiplayer thing really isn't like it's not taking the cake anymore. And that's been my thing. Is Mark said it earlier, he's a big storyline guy, and I want to ask you, just as a gamer, like what's the last great storyline game you played? Like great storyline, like memorable masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to think about.
Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah, dude. Okay. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Like,
but how long ago was that? That was already Red Dead. You see Mark's calling Red Dead? These are all big hitter games, though, man. They're all big hitter games, but like, those by name. I would say like God of War.
God of War. Yeah, even for whatever the game was or wasn't, dude, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was a beautiful game, and it had an amazing story.
Yeah, but the problem was that when on release, they released with a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, I know. But that's beyond the point. My point is that the story was good, and very much like The Witcher. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Witcher, the first Witcher game that ever came out, was complete fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like mechanically.
I think 3
but it
came out, right?
2.
Or 2.
Like the first Witcher game, no, it was like The Witcher, and then it was 2 and 3. But the first Witcher game mechanically sucked, bro. It was horrible.
Yeah, but that's okay. But that's the problem with some of these games too, is like sometimes the sequels are the ones that do very well, and then it gets people back involved in the story. That was like Metal Gear Solid did the same thing. I was a really big fan, of course, PlayStation Metal Gear, but everybody got hooked on Snake Eater. Like Snake Eater was the one that like really got like Kingdom Hearts, dude. I mean, we're both huge fans of Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the gameplay for Kingdom Hearts has never really had to change. Like
that last story, dude. Fucking God, I almost killed myself, dude. Just to see the fucking character come down and be like, "Look, man, Just stop. And he's like, you're right. Let's go, Mark Hamill. All right. And it just ends. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. This whole game didn't even have to happen. I'm done.
Dude, for me, that game was just too easy, and I played on normal mode. Like that
What,
was
for
the
Kingdom
hard.
Hearts?
Yeah, I played Kingdom Hearts 3, the last one, on normal mode, and I was like, bro, like in 2, dude, I got my shit pushed in. In 3, I never died once.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Once.
I think it was one of those things that they wanted to make the game a little bit more accessible for people that were barely getting onto it because they knew the story was gonna fuck them up.
Bro,
Dude,
either way, dude. Either way, like, but that's the thing. Like, there has to be a balance. I mean, dude, The Witcher 3. Perfect example, bro. The Witcher 3's mechanics and gameplay are fucking amazing, and the story is just as good.
Yeah. That's good. That's
So,
a good point.
Even Metal Gear Solid 5, like it's still like Phantom Pain and and everything else. Like, dude, mechanically, it's still a really, really polished game, and the story isn't bad either.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, like, with like, okay, like, but what I'm saying is like for Cyberpunk, right? When Cyberpunk first released, had a huge clamor at the game. Huge clamor. Everyone bought the release because everyone was excited for it.
Well, yeah, it was
And
a
then you
CD
get
Project Red.
Yeah. And then you got it, and it was like practically broken. Practically, the game was
Well,
like,
for some people, it was unplayable.
normal,
yeah, which is totally fine, and I get it. But for the people who actually got to play the game, whether like a little bit buggy or not, which myself included, when they got to go and experience the story, they fell in love with the story.
Yeah, but you're a nice guy though, dude. Like, look at same thing. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, like I also did have a game breaking bug, like one game breaking bug.
But what happened was a lot of the time, same thing with Battlefield 2042. I'm still playing that game right now, and I love it, but nobody else loves it. And the reason why is because I'm so used to that game mechanic. It's very close to Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. Like it plays almost like the old school games. But the problem is that when it released and it messed up, it took the opportunity for them to really, really get the story out because people weren't going to play it. And then when they released the patch and then the new DLC for Liberty, I don't think it hit as hard as the company would have liked it if they just like would have waited and released it correctly, because people are already tired of playing a game that didn't make them happy at launch. I mean, which is kind of like the consumer can be the problem as well because we want it like right then and right now, which is going on with that. I don't know if you've seen that Sun Wukong game. The one with
yeah,
gorgeous, bro. That looks super great.
I heard that is very that is very Souls like.
Yeah, but the thing is, and the problem is all the consumers and all the people that want to play it are like, I want it now. I want it now. Where's it at? Where's it at? And from what I remember, I think that game was being made and developed by one guy. Like, if I'm not mistaken, that was the whole story behind it. It was one dude that was like breaking it all down. So like, the idea of it is, you end up pushing these people into like a problematic situation because they want to be rushed. They don't want to be rushed, but they're being rushed by the consumer that it's going to fail if they don't get it on time. Yeah. So like, they make promises and times and dates and all this other stuff. And then you get the game and it's all buggy because they never got testers or they didn't, get people to check it out or really put it through its marks. And that's what's partially killing the video game industry, right? The other thing is, I think the prices, fucking surprisingly, Modern Warfare 3 is what, $70, dude? Like,
probably.
Fuck, that's insane, man. Because my brain still clicks on the idea that some games out there should be like $50, $35 and stuff like that. Where most games that are coming out are all at a high point. And then you end up having to buy some type of like battle pass or exclusive content VIP, and it ends up kicking the price of one video game up to $125, $130. That's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts for an undeveloped and unfinished game that feels like a DLC. $70 DLC, Robert says in the comment section. So imagine, and I'm just throwing this out there. We're the consumer for Modern Warfare 3. It's 8 maps that we've already put 500 plus hours into because they were part of an old school game. and you get 1 or 2 new maps, and the story can be finished in 3 hours. Like, do you feel like you got your $70 worth?
No, but that's the thing. If the storyline itself can be finished in 3 hours, what's the replayability of the storyline?
Yeah, like it's gonna be like, yeah, it's gotta be fucking. Do you remember? Fuck, do you remember Battlefield 4?
Yeah.
You remember Battlefield? In Battlefield 4, you can make 3 decisions, and the story changes 3 different ways off of that decision.
Same thing with the Witcher,
Call of
dude.
Duty Black Ops something.
I don't know. I never played the Black Ops game. No. I never jumped on that bandwagon because of zombies, and I don't care what anyone says, dude. Like I hated zombies, and I detested all of.
You didn't like the Treyarch zombies, bro? You should just listen to the story. The story's wild.
The story could be the best fucking story ever, dude. But I'll say, yeah. But just like you said, dude, the consumer, the consumer ruined it for me.
For the zombie situation, or like, why? What was your take on the zombies of the old Black Ops series?
The fact that it just got this weird cult following, and I'm cool with a following behind it, but dude, it became like a toxic cult following quick.
You know what? I agree with you.
And I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing this.
That's like everything, right? What it do? How you doing? Wrong hole, Rick. Good to see you in the comments section, man. Yeah, good to see you.
RHR.
Yeah. For me, I 100% agree with you, and I 100% believed that the YouTuber, the streamer that was Easter egg hunting, the moment the maps would drop, I think they ruined the game. I think they ruined the aspect of the game, and the reason why is because before YouTube and all this stuff was really prominent, the way you figured out Easter eggs and the way you learn stuff is by word of mouth or by jumping into the game randomly and playing with a group of dudes who 1 or 2 guys knew how to do the Easter egg. And you learned that way. And it was fun. It was like, you get to resolve all this stuff, and you get to really feel like a part of something. And then it became this thing where they had like a Reddit where you could just solve everything real easy. But the problem is it became a clamor at celebrity status. The first person that could solve the Easter egg became that first person to solve it, and they were famous for it. And it was all over the internet. What's up, comment menu? Michael Betancourt. What is up, my guys in the comment section? Good to see you guys always as usual for the week. Love you guys, and I'm glad you guys are here on our Sunday with us. Awesome to have you. Michael Betancourt says, the stand on the hill that the best zombie shooter is still Left 4 Dead.
It really is, dude.
Well, have you played Back 4 Blood yet?
No, but I've heard not great things about Back 4 Blood.
I've been digging it. Me and a couple of the guys, we've been playing it as a co-op game, and it's pretty good. It's standing the test. I mean, it's not standing the test of time like Left 4 Dead has. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it follows the same format, has a really cool random card structure that changes the format of the game every time. And then you go through missions just like Left 4 Dead. Not too bad. Yeah, you see Michael Betancourt says, yeah, whoa, whoa, Mark. Michael Betancourt says, Back 4 Blood, tried it, just didn't get there. Mark was like, I fucking hated Left 4 Dead. Whoa, with the hate. Calm the hate breaks, sister. Jeez, that's super crazy, man. Left 4 Dead wasn't too bad, but those games are great with friends.
I agree.
If you're playing it solo, you're missing the whole concept of what they
right now. I really have to say that survival games have me though. Survival games, dude, they've got me by the short and curlies, dude.
Yeah. Because you get to collaborate. You get to work with other people. You get to kind of just do your own thing. There's no real end goal or up goal. That's 7 Days to Die kind of concept. Me and a couple friends play 7 Days to Die a lot. So yeah, I understand that completely. The story, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I've been saying this for years. The single op stories when it comes to video games is kind of like a dying breed. I think right now, you watch, dude, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to pop off. It's supposed to have a drop, I think, in November or December. It's supposed to have a trailer. And that motherfucker is going to break the internet for no reason. Like it's gonna break because people are just like they're tired of the everyday shooter. They want to go back to that Red Dead kind of open
I
world.
really I actually kind of have to disagree with you on the
Yeah.
single player like story driven games.
Mhm.
And the reason that I say that, dude, is because like you have like you have Jedi Survivor that just came out, single
Yeah.
player game. It was fantastic. Then you have and like another one that like literally broke the internet and like was a runner up or yeah, could have been an easy runner up last year for game of the year was Hogwarts Legacy. You know,
Yeah, but
and granted, I know
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like two specific ones out of like many, right? But you also have like indie gamers who are giving us those single player story driven games that the AAA studios just aren't.
that they can't. Yeah, that they can't.
I'm not going to say that they can't. They just aren't. Because I mean, these AAA studios used to give it to us all the time.
Yeah.
But now it's falling on like smaller indie studios that are really giving it to us. And so that's why like when all these like huge studios are coming out, and oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, like new ray tracing and dick detailing or whatever, like, oh yeah, dude, like we're on the cutting edge. I'm like, all right, man, cool. Like I have a little Burmese kid from like China who's like making a game that I've been dick writing for like a year.
Oh shit.
You know,
And what's the game called or what?
like the game that I've been on right now is Scum. It's like you're basically on an island. Oh yeah, there's also Baldur's Gate 3. You're like on an island, you're a death row inmate, you're thrown into an island. It's basically damn it, what's that the story the Japanese story with the school kids and they get thrown on an island.
Battle Royale?
Think of Battle Royale. Yeah, think of Battle Royale, except like it's also kind of like the Survivor. Like Bear Grylls Survivor. Like you're gonna have to craft everything. Everything you have to craft yourself.
Is that like the island or what was that game that came out a while back? The one that where you're in an airplane and your kid gets fucking sucked out?
The Forest.
The Forest, there you go.
Yes, but there's more guns.
Okay, and it's multiplayer or it's all single?
Yeah, no, it's multiplayer.
It's a big co-op map then, or a big So is that more like Rust kind of vibe or what?
Very much so.
Okay, so it's more.
It's like the Rust DayZ killer.
Okay, and that's the thing. Like a lot of those like battle royale, survivor crafting games, like then they took over like crazy, man. And it's good because you guys are putting a bunch of names out there of badass games that have come out, but like in the process too, there's been some big AAA games that just didn't break the mark either too. So that was like Starfield. Starfield was supposed to be like this huge, or was Star Citizen or Starfield? Starfield, right?
Star Citizen.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like this big old like ender of like what's that one game that came out? No Man's Land, No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a big killer of that.
Damn.
What's up, Ham? Games at Ham, Mr. Arcade himself, man.
Right.
And then you also had fucking one of your favorites used to be back in the day concepts, which was Assassin's Creed. I heard that game kind of fell like ugh.
So it's really, really funny that you say that because yesterday I just got an old memory on Facebook.
Oh shit!
And it was back when Assassin's Creed 3 came out. I think it was like 2011 or something like that. But I had posted this, and I was like, dude, I played this game for all this time for this fucking ending in Assassin's Creed 3. And then I reposted that memory, and I was like, and I never played another one since.
That's fucking wild, dude. And it was just that the fact of like the story just like got really like convoluted, right?
No, it's just for me, everything that led up to the first 3 games was central to a single character on a single mission, and everything. Oh, dude, Ghost Recon was amazing. By the way,
it's a fucking fun.
Yeah, especially Wildlands, and the other one that came. Yeah.
That was their first one. That was
great. Dude, it was amazing. Anyway, Yeah, like once Miles died, and they didn't like keep into his family because like the reason that everything was happening was specifically because of Miles, his family, his genetic bloodline. And then after that it just went pew, and I was like, no, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
True, 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 true. Um, there was another game that I was thinking about. Oh, Spider-Man 5.
You mean two?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Spider-Man 2. Um, how do you feel about it? Not about the gameplay. I love the gameplay. Never had a problem with the Spider-Man video game or anything like that. But like, would you consider the Spider-Man game right now being like the mainstream like story of Spider-Man? Like telling it as is because this is what the companies want the consumer to digest and be like,
No.
yeah, this is him.
No.
Because like I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, this happened to me at the gym. This is why it kind of caught my eye. Literally, someone told me I was talking to one of the students about stuff, right? And he goes that I was telling him about Spider-Man, and he goes that Miles Morales is a Spider-Man, and he's a younger cat. And I started realizing, like, did you know right now the generation of young kids that are taking the Marvel like ingesting all the information is based off of that, where like Miles is their Spider-Man. It's not Peter Parker. Peter Parker plays as like the Ben Parker. They're the Ben Parker mentor figure, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't die. So
Well, he does die in the Ultimate series. Like he's gonna die. Like that's the whole purpose of his character. You can't.
but that's the Ultimates. I don't give a shit about the Ultimates.
But
They're not
that's what
616.
Spider-Man 5 is based on this timeline because Miles is in it.
No, it's not.
Bro, straight up. Okay, so like the story in Spider-Man 2 is you bring in Miles Morales. You have Peter Parker.
I'm aware of the whole series, and I know the Ultimate series.
They're gonna kill off Spider-Man. They're gonna kill off Peter Parker in the series for it to work.
Dude, you have been saying that they're gonna kill Peter Parker for like 3 years now, and guess what? He's still not dead.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah, and guess what happened? And guess what happened to Peter Parker in the Ultimates? They brought him back.
Oh well, yeah, of course. And they made him a fucking villain, and they made him like some weird guy.
So I mean,
like, okay, I was tripping balls about this yesterday because they did. What's your take on the Venom story?
in what
Just
regard?
your Venom story in general. What's your Venom story?
My Venom story is always going to be
Eddie Brock.
yeah, it's always going to be Eddie Brock.
Did you know?
Yeah, I know that it's Harry in Spider-Man 2.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, but I also don't care because I'm not playing it thinking that I'm going to get 616 information.
What do you mean? Say that again. Oh, I mean,
I'm not. Yeah, but I'm not playing the Spider-Man games thinking that I'm going to get the Ultimates or 616 storylines. That's not why I'm playing the games.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to me, it just kind of tripped me out. And the reason why is because there is a large number of the youth that are introduced back into the Marvel universe and sometimes just introduced in general. This can be anywhere. The kid that I was talking to, because I teach at my martial arts gym and we get kids from all ages. He's about 11, 12 years old. And we were talking about it. And it's just so wild that like the Spider-Verse, like what's your take on what the Spider-Verse is supposed to be compared to what it is nowadays? And I don't think it's in the sense of like, it's like Mark said, oh no, we're old. Like, it's like when someone says Slipknot is classic rock. Like, no, it's not like that because of the fact that, you know, I think it's just being altered so people can subjugate it in their own terms.
You know, I'm sure that there's a lot of, 75-year-old dudes who feel the exact same way about Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner, but that's music, dude. I can't go off and say like, oh, actually that beat was a 150, not a 180, and then me go off and alter the whole thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, but the same argument can still be made of the subjugating.
That makes zero sense, Trigger. You're talking about music. You're talking something that's like,
yeah, no, I'm talking. No, I'm not talking about music. I'm talking about the mindset.
The mindset of Leonard Skinner.
No, the mindset of like an old person saying that like, oh, all music is based off of this, or that like everything comes from a root in this. And while that same mindset can still be reapplied to Marvel, like, okay, all these kids are getting their information from what used to be classic Peter Parker that now moved into Miles Morales. I hate to say it, like, in such a I don't give a shit manner, but dude, everyone needs to chill with these fucking stories. They're just stories.
Okay, let me ask
fuck,
you.
Man.
No, but that doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. The reason why it doesn't make sense is they could have literally
stop.
no, they literally could have this. Okay, so the two Spider-Verse movies, I dig them. I think they're cool. I think they're awesome. I think they're great. It's a great opportunity for them to build Miles Morales' story.
Okay, but why not use his classic story?
Comic books.
Yeah, but why not use his classic story? Because clearly it worked.
Well, in the movies it worked because no one knows that there's an actual comic book called the Spider-Verse. They don't like the concept is what.
Yes, but there's a lot of people that know about the Miles Morales comic, and that comic line worked. That's my point.
What comic line?
Wait,
this movie line.
No, but you're talking. But you've always been the kind of guy.
Yeah. I told you it was a bad example to use.
No, it's not, because like these guys are always going to like say that like, oh no, like my version of things is the best way to do it.
Okay, so let me ask you something. If you were going to take a song from Leonard Skinner and you were going to show it to someone that's young, are you going to show them the fucking Cardi B variation of the Leonard Skinner song to prove that they're good?
No,
you're going to show them an original Leonard Skinner song and be like, yo, this is Leonard Skinner. Check it out. Tell me if you like it.
Yes, but I could also say, yes.
Movie. You're telling me that the Spider-Verse original story, even though it's good and has content and has reference and made it to what it was, and that even gave it the title of the Spider-Verse, is now better because you told it in a 2023 variation with a cartoon overlay. Like, I'm telling you,
there's no overlay. There's no overlay.
It's just a fucking
cartoon. There's no fucking overlay. There's no overlay.
Spider-Verse.
No, there's no fucking not. The literal only overlay so far is that they have more than one Spider-Man. That's it. Past that, there isn't a fucking no, dude.
That's in the original.
No, dude. I'm aware. I'm aware, but there was a huge like mythological reason behind all of this. Not we gotta fix reality.
That's what the movies are about.
I'm aware, but the original story, which was just fine,
which is great. I think it was
fantastic. Exactly.
What gave us
in your logic, why not just adapt that story? Not that I'm complaining that I got what I got, because I think those movies are some of the best Sony content ever.
But yeah, but the thing is the Spider-Verse itself was its own arc, story placements, like Lord of the Rings, all the subtitles or whatever. They're not changing the subtitle and then fucking throwing a million new characters into it and just changing everything all up. They're keeping it identical to what they were coming from the books. And my thing is, if you're going
that's identical to you, you believe the movies are identical to the comic book?
It's more in respect to the series and done in someone's own interpretation. Okay, sure. Are you telling me in the Lord of the Rings, when you get the fucking the whole entire group together for the Shire or whatever the fuck, that they're gonna add 7 other hobbits that are not originally in the book at all, but just throw them in there because fuck it all, I want to have it? Because that's the same thing with Miles. Miles was never in the Spider-Verse. He was never in the original Spider-Verse. He wasn't even a concept until like 2015, 2014. The Spider-Verse itself was already an established great arc by itself, which, I mean, we can agree that it was fantastic. Which
oddly enough went on to like go for like years.
Yeah, it kept going on and on and on. That's not. I'm not going to argue with that. When they established the Spider Avengers, the ones with Hobie and all the other fucking Spider-Men that were going around and doing all the other stuff, like, yeah, even the introduction to Spider-Gwen is good. Like, I'm not saying those are bad. What I'm saying is my biggest concern, and this is what's going on, in my opinion, throughout all the movies, is they're trying to build these characters up and throw them into old arcs that were successful because they know they were successful, rather than just building and giving these characters their own individual. I would have loved to have seen the Spider-Verse titled something that it was just based on Miles's character. Like the thing that I liked about the Spider-Verse is they established this idea that there's the Peter Parker Spider-Verse. There's like a Miles Morales Spider-Verse and like a Gwen Stacy Spider-Verse, where one of them loses their uncle, the other one loses their father, the other one loses, I don't know, like their parents or something. But like it's interesting that when they're Peter Parkers, they lose their uncle. And it's always, all three of them across the board are, with great power comes responsibility, right? But like with the Miles and the Gwen character, when they're not Peter Parker, they lose their fathers. And it's still that with great power comes responsibility shit, right? I dig that. I think that's great. But what the problem was is in the comic books, Gwen and Miles are still in like a weird limbo. Like they don't have like really good specific stories developed for those characters. And that's where I feel like they miss out on when it comes to the movies. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, my man. I hope you're feeling a lot better, man.
Sorry, yeah, man, for sure.
Joe, miss you, brother. Miss you.
Yeah, and stop eating people, dude.
Yeah, stop eating out at night. Stop eating people
dude.
Night, man. God. But yeah, interesting stuff. I didn't know. Have you been able to play Spider-Man 2? Or are you just watching the videos?
I haven't played. I've yet to play Spider-Man 2 because I haven't gotten it yet. But I have the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So and that's why I've already played those. Yeah. But that's like my thing. Like I'm not playing those games because I needed. I needed a retelling for the fucking 30th. Yeah, exactly. I'm just playing to play them.
I just want to stay around New York. I don't give a shit.
Well, not just that, but like what new story can you give me? Like why not for either of these characters? You know, because like the original the original Sinister Six. No, the original Sinister Six wasn't even them. Not even all of them, at least. There was a few of them, but it was cool. Like I'm able to get something fresh, because sometimes and very much in your own right, where you're saying like, well, these particular stories worked. They may not have worked for everybody, and you know what? It's just something fresh, and at least I can appreciate the freshness of what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know, and on top of that, I'm able to interact with it, you know, in my own level and kind of dictate things my way. Whether it's an illusion or not, because the story is still relatively linear. Like there's no
it still has its parts, right? There's milestones in between the story. Like even like I said, like when I was talking to this kid at the gym about it, I was still able to keep online with his story of him telling me about the Spider-Man game and the Spider-Verse. But in the aspect too, I was able to talk about all the old school shit too, and kind of keep him kind of like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, man. I should check that out, kind of moment, right?
Yeah, and I think that latter is what we need to focus on, and not the fact that this is where it came from. Yeah,
that it's just not the same. I agree. That's why I kind of was like, I like keeping people in the nerd genre at least, so I like to give them like reasons to jump around. But yeah, that was a really good point. That's a really good
because you and I can go for, I mean, like not just for hours talking about this, but like you and I can at least ramble on 3 different arcs for most major characters and be like, hey man, I know you're just jumping into it, or I know that you know that this particular character tickles your fancy, bro.
Check this out. Yeah,
check out these 3 arcs with this character who played with this particular person who played that character previously, and it'll give you a good roadmap to why things progressed the way that they are right now when you're.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good way to handle those type of conversations and situations. That's really, really good.
Because think of like me, dude. I love Richard Rider, but Richard Rider. I mean, Sam Alexander has nothing to do with Richard Rider.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a great fresh character for kids. Granted, very much like Gwen, like Spider-Gwen, he's in a huge state of limbo. Bigger, more so than Miss Marvel is.
Yeah, I was even going to say, even with the concept right now with her being a mutant, her being involved with the X-Men more and stuff, she's kind of she's in a bad position too. But then not only that, I'm a huge fan of Blue Marvel. And I just saw that they put him in an Illuminati cast.
Dude.
And I was like,
everybody who knows how the movies adapt comics, they're like, bro, he's starting to come out in a lot of stuff.
Of course.
And so they're like,
and we talked about this before, that it's a perfect opportunity for his character.
And this is definitely going to be the one time where I'm going to be like, all right, Chris, I really think you are calling it. They're going to add Blue Marvel into the MCU somewhere.
I mean, because it correlates to the theme of what they want to push. And you need a character that's astronomically like out of this world strong.
I think he's going to take over the Hulk role.
Oof, that would be cool. But
because think about it, yeah, because he's actually smarter than Bruce.
Straight
and he's almost just as strong, if not a little bit stronger.
Yeah, well, he fucking in the Ultimates universe, he tanked the.
Oh yeah,
out of him. Yeah. That was impressive. I still love that.
I'd have to disagree.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm the strongest there is, and he's like, yeah,
about that.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they just kind of missed an opportunity, unless if they do a Fantastic Four story. Like, I don't see another part where they could just like shoehorn Blue Marvel in this late in the game. But
dude, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying, right?
And we'll talk about this in a little bit, right? Because we're definitely going to talk about the Marvels. Yeah. You know, there's already some things that people are kind of like, bro, you're going to add this way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and I know we'll talk about it later.
We're going to talk
yeah, I know. We're going to talk about it later. But I think that's a good segue into our next conversation.
Yes, it is. Because of the fact that the reason why is because of the fact that they can even have the possibility of shoehorning Blue Marvel in is because the Actor Guild has finally come to a conclusion and films are back on track. Triggs, what do we know about the Screen Actors Guild, man?
All I really care about is that Deadpool is the only MCU movie slated for 2024. Mopar, baby. Yeah. So
let me ask you, because you haven't been on the show in a while.
Yeah.
So I haven't even got to ask you this question. Like, what are you most? I mean, because the fucking potential for this to go crazy is like limitless. What are you most excited for that the Deadpool 3 movie brings to the MCU? Like, just in general. And I'm not even like, because I mean, it's going to be like,
I think what I'm excited for, and I hope that all of these stories were true, is that it brings forth the true new phase of Marvel.
Like the all new, all different, like after
the newer characters are going to be coming out, and like whether it's like leading into the Fantastic Four or bringing in more X-Men, or like X-Men, or bringing in this, that, or the other. I want to see these things, and I know that Deadpool can be the catalyst for it.
So a lot of there was large talks in the very beginning of Deadpool 3, being that it was going to be a Deadpool destroys the MCU or destroys the Marvel universe.
Yeah, or reboots the MCU like or some shit. Right? Yeah.
In that potential of understanding how far this goes, even into the ending story of Deadpool's character, where they bring his daughter in and he kind of like goes off in the incursion on that boat. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
When they did the last episode of Deadpool. What do you kind of like hope to see out of the Deadpool movie when it comes to cameos? Like, who are some of the people that you really, really want to see?
Hugh Jackman, bro.
Oh, well, that's already a given. We got pictures.
Yeah, dude.
I don't need that. We're gonna get him for sure. And then of course, like, rumors is that him and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
No, Toby.
I think it's supposed to be both. Like, dude, I've been hearing a lot of both like talks. And I heard if I get both, I'm gonna go nuts. But weirdly enough, I can see Blue Marvel coming into this.
Oof, that's crazy. Through Deadpool?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy. How would you like to see that happen? Because I that's like way out of my brain.
Bro, Hyperion confirmed.
Hyperion. Oh no, still, dude. Still, and there's a factor of me that thinks they're gonna switch out the Sentry, since they're talking about bringing him in for Thunderbolts. That they're gonna do Sentry and Thor for the last part of Secret Wars when it comes to the Beyonder reset.
Dude, I bet that's gonna be Blue Marvel and Thor.
I could see that if they bring him in. I could see that happening. I could really.
I could see that happening. Blue Marvel and Thor. Because now I'm on the Blue Marvel like train that he's gonna. I'm there, and I'm telling you, I bet he's gonna take over the Hulk role.
The Hulk role. Oh, I don't know because they just recently got the rights to the Hulk and they want to give him something proper, which was like they were talking about World War Hulk and all this other stuff. It would be interesting to see them do World War Hulk, bring in Blue Marvel, and have it be
Yeah,
Blue
but I
Marvel
bet they're
that's
gonna do
fucking up our
that and then
country.
kill him in World War Hulk.
Well, it would be interesting. Well, yeah, but it would be interesting if it was Blue Marvel that sucker that fucking punches him instead of the Sentry, where it's him and Bruce Banner, and they
Yeah,
take what was that one guy that he used to fight, Power Man, or what was the one dude that he used to fight all the time?
Wonder Man.
No, Wonder
No, no,
Man.
no, no.
He's the guy, the reactor, the other human reactor. Blue Marvel. I think it was Power Man. Blue Marvel or Blue. Oh, shit, I can't even talk. Blue Marvel MCU villain. It was
No, 616 villain,
yeah,
not
it was the guy
MCU.
with the weird. He had like a Galactus hat also.
Yeah,
I can't.
and he was white. He was fighting the white man.
Anti Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, Anti Man. It would be cool if you were to take the Hulk, the World War Hulk, and make him a catalyst or like a avatar for what Anti was in the comic books, and you make it to where him and Blue Marvel were the dudes that were all the nuclear guys and all the capabilities, and instead of it being Anti-Man that was his partner in training or whatever, it was Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear, and Bruce Banner that were working together.
see,
Then
and that I can see.
you see
That,
that, right?
yeah, that I can see, and
Yeah,
that's why
that
I
could work.
still feel like he could take over the Hulk role because of that.
Yeah, because then at the end, what happens? You know, it's instead of the Century and the Hulk fighting a World War Hulk, you have him and Blue Marvel, and then in the very end of the fight, you have Blue Marvel do the whole "I don't think so" and uppercut him, knock him out, and then they put him in that casket underneath Shield. Remember, like in the original World War Hulk, but they didn't
Yeah,
kill him; they just like drugged him to death or whatever, or drugged him into a coma.
yeah,
And then boom, you get him out of the way. You get Skrull or Skull or whatever his son's
and
name is.
that could even play a segue into like Jessica Walters coming in trying to like fight the government through the law, you know, to get
Yeah,
her
try to get her brother
yeah,
or her cousin,
cousin
or whatever.
released or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it could work. It could work.
there's
But
a lot of
yeah,
opportunities that they have, and
exactly.
that's kind of like my
You
big
just
thing.
can't waste them. You just can't
Yeah.
waste those
Right
opportunities.
now, you can't. Right now, you
Yeah.
can't waste the opportunities. Triggs, going back to what we were talking about originally, because we're going to talk about all the Marvel and stuff later. Anyways, we're
Yeah.
going to get into that. The Actors Guild. What do we got understanding on what the Actors Guild got a conclusion to?
So for the people who did keep up with the whole SAG-AFTRA strike, last week they were kind of deadlocked, right? And they were deadlocked specifically on the issue of AI, right? And and the actors were like, "We're not going to budge on this. We're not going to." But at the same time, the studios were like, "If we don't solve this in a week, we're gonna just leave the table and we're not gonna talk to you until January of 2024." And the reason being is because they were already going to miss their TV series deadlines and their movie deadlines. So for them, it was going to be a moot point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then boom, that'd be another 3 month conversation, you know, which would have completely fucked everything up. Like, unless you're a gamer, you're gonna be a bored person, you know, on TV. I mean, I hope you like reruns, but yeah, finally it did come to an end. Like 2 days after that announcement was made, and the studios did finally budge on AI. Like they were like, okay, now, like, and one of the dude, if you read the report of what the the studios were wanting, dude, that was asinine. Like that was the hugest spit in the face of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like the actors, I'm glad that they like held in solidarity for that. Because basically what it was that they're gonna give you a base pay, like a base pay. Damn, okay. Roger that, bro. Ain't nobody asking for me, right? Where's Brian? uh they were gonna give you like a base pay of it, like a one-time payment, and then after that they would own it in its entirety. But they never needed to ask your permission for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now,
that's the whole AI.
now they have to, and they will pay you every time it is used.
Okay,
Whether
well,
you're
that's good, man.
whether you're an A-list actor or a background actor, you
Well, that's the
will
way
get
it kinda should be, man.
you will get a residual from it moving forward. but they also need your consent to use it in that particular project.
I mean, it's kind of like the way it should have been originally. I don't know where.
Well, here's the thing, like the for this was the weird one, is that if you died and they still had your likeness, they could still use it without consulting your estate.
That just sounds like something Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
God.
So like, think of dude, the girl who played Leia, Laura something.
Yeah, you're talking about
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. They could use her likeness. Like originally, they would have been able to use her likeness without consulting the Fisher estate.
Well, I mean, even farther than that. I mean, not too far from what we already love too is the Stan Lee situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that studio heads and stuff like that. That would have been what, Bob Iger thing?
Yeah,
right?
Bob Iger. I mean, they, all of them, because there's a whole board that sits. So it's not just Bob Iger individually; it's a lot of them. But that's
I know that Kevin Feige would probably stonewall that. He'd be like, "No, hold on, let's talk. Let's talk to the Lee family," And I would love.
Salvo.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Thank you, though. I think. I would like to think that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige would at least have a lot more respect for Stan Lee and his family. Enough to not do something.
Well, you remember they did spend a lot of money on buying his likeness like a while back.
Oh, I know, but but in that same breath, they also haven't used it since he died.
Yeah, that's true.
Outside of Endgame, when he had already done.
We're going to say that loosely because we don't know what they're doing on the like the cruise lines. If they're doing it to where like they have them in little things. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. If they have him at the amusement parks, I can kind of see it. He's a progenitor to all of that. I could kind of see it, but that's also another thing, that using the likeness for theme parks and things like that. Like I'm sure Carrie Fisher. I mean, you could see her picture at Galaxy's Edge or some shit like that.
Very cool, very cool. But yeah, very good on the stuff of the actors, man. Really proud that they got their shit figured out, because that was fucking horrible, man. In the sense of someone just stealing their likeness and making money off.
Yeah, dude. Like. What if I stole your likeness and I put you in a bad softcore porn video
and then started making fucking money from it? Like, dude.
Yeah, dude. And it became super successful, and I never told your brother about it. Especially after you died.
Later,
yeah, especially after you died.
God, that would suck, dude.
And I never told Bobby.
Yeah. You're just making cash off of my
dude.
Softcore dead body or whatever.
Yeah.
That would suck. But yeah, good on them, man. I'm happy that they got it all figured out. Now they get back to business and
but this is also like the short and curlies of it. Like obviously there's a lot more, and I would really need to do my research on that.
Yeah,
to give a lot more in depth information upon that. But with that being said, that was the major one, and the residuals. I believe it is now down to the actors wanted 2% of residuals from streaming websites. They bumped themselves down to 1.
They're still getting out of it, dude. Like, it's still good.
But they bumped themselves down lower, and they were going to get a part of the subscriptions. The money that is made from new subscriptions moving forward for their likeness and things like that they were a part of. That's how they get paid. So it's not residuals; it's now new subscribers from streaming services, right? And I thought that I was like, okay. I can see that working. That's as best of a middle ground that could be reached. I would be happy with that if I was on the board.
Yeah, because in a way it puts it back on those people's responsibilities to put out good content.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if they're not putting it out and they're not getting new subscribers, then that's on them.
Yeah. It's equally just on them.
Factored in that, Netflix has already a bunch of million subscribers already, which is you kind of lose out on those subscribers that are already associated with it, right?
Yeah, and I have to agree, Brian. I know that they are.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but at least it's something.
Yeah. But that's the thing is subscriptions are down across the platforms, and that's literally what I was saying, other than the fact that it does put into perspective that now they have to put out good content. They have to. If they're not, then they're hurting themselves.
But I would like to think that also might mean that, like, let's say Henry Cavill is now going to start being able to profit from new subscribers that are watching The Witcher seasons 1, 2, and 3 when 4 comes out and Liam takes over.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
how
have
that
no
works.
idea. I would like,
Yeah.
obviously that's something that's sub clauses and
Yeah, I
blah
was
blah
gonna say I don't
blah.
know how that
You
works
know,
because it's like whatever film or part that Netflix has, whatever licenses they, how do they do that 1% across the board for all the films that they have available? Or is it that they're signing on specifically when a film drops or
I
when
think
it
that's when
brings
it
in,
is.
you know what I
Like,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
like when like I think it's like the first like 20 clicks or something like that.
mhm. Yeah, like off
That's
of
what the
like
new,
like off of
yeah,
like
that's what
when,
the, like, on a new subscriber, that's what's tracked or
okay.
something like that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, let's say I run Netflix and I release the Spider Verse, and I get 200,000 new followers.
Yeah.
Do those 200,000 new followers subscription go to the Crow that's been on the the fucking streaming service for 20
Cool,
years
man. The
already?
fucking, the Lee
You know what I'm
estate
talking about?
might, yeah, might even start being able to profit a little bit from it.
I
Who the
wonder.
fuck
I
knows,
wonder if
dude?
that's how it works.
Yeah, like, well, obviously we don't know, like, we're not, mosquitoes or flies on the wall, like, in
Yeah.
those rooms, and I don't exactly have the documents,
Yeah, right in front of us.
lining out, like what like the nitty gritty of those details. But yeah, like, that's obviously for lawyers to, like, discuss,
Yeah, to
and
discuss and break down.
yeah,
I
and
think it's a good call for him, man.
media, yeah,
I think it's
and
something that's
I agree. But those were like the two main things, was residuals and AI.
good stuff. Yeah, that's the only thing I practically care about. I just want these guys to get back to work and make us good movies.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, on to the next one. Triggs, we won't take too long on this because I think it's across the board a good show. Invincible season 2, episode 2, just dropped. It's going really good. I have no complaints. I think the show's great.
Dude, it's giving me the same energy right off the gate that season 1 did. I'm for it. I think it's telling the story in a good pace. I think there's a great pace to it. I But you feel for Mark and Debbie. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
feel
and
the
Adam
hurt.
too. I feel for Adam Eve also for Eve.
Yeah.
Like her whole situation with her dad and
yeah, and her parents and stuff like that. Yeah.
man. Like she has this Midas touch situation, right? Where she's like, I can make anything into gold, just go sell it and make money. And the dad's like, that's not the fucking point. The point is, like, you have to understand that even though your power is to warp reality across, fucking the fabric of time or whatever, there's consequences to you not really thinking about just what's on the surface.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really, really cool, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, dude, and like,
you
yeah, man, you got to realize, dude, she's just a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid,
yeah, with the
like, who
powers
think,
of
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
God, you know?
who thinks that she can fix the world?
Yeah, I thought that was really impressive. I was really impressed by that. Everything across Mark's really good. Mark's situation that he's dealing with, this like PTSD of his father, the repercussions of everybody hating on his dad, him trying to prove himself as an individual in the society to be better. Like, I think it's so good, man, across the board. And then, the mom having to deal with like motherhood, and then like
and people hating her,
up.
and people hating her too.
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, there's that part, man. And then the idea of like her dealing with motherhood, her wanting to keep her son and kind of like celebrate his life as a child moving into adulthood. But at the same time, like, how do you do that for a person who's a senior in high school that's about to graduate, but that also just saved the entire world like not too long ago? Like, what do you can't take that motherfucker to Chuck E. Cheese or Olive Garden or anything for him to kind of like, and then his dad is his villain. You know what I mean? The fucking person he looked up to the most is his biggest villain.
yeah,
And the turmoil of that storytelling is just so fantastic.
yeah, dude, I loved it, man. I've never. It's very rare that a comic can hit on so many different levels in a single storyline, because you guys got to remember, like, Invincible's over. Like, the storyline is finished.
Yeah, everything's done.
Yeah, Rick Kirkman did just such a fantastic job with it, and I mean, like I still think it's going to be next season when this happens. But I mean, like there's a big issue that came up in Invincible comics and brought to light something that's very real in the world.
Yeah.
And it did it. I'm not going to say in a beautiful way, but highlighted it in a way that was appropriate for the story.
Dude,
And the way that it was handled afterwards was just
because the repercussions across the fucking years of storytelling. God damn, that was good.
Because you got to remember the guy who dresses just like him, who Mark is based off of, had that happen to him as well in his own comic.
Yeah, that's super wild, dude. Because the repercussions of that across the story are super crazy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be wild when I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. Mentally, I don't know, because you kind of worry about it with nowadays, like themes and structures on how they make stories and what they do and don'ts and stuff. And man, dude, I'm so wild about it. Really, really am, dude. But yeah, for me, 10 out of 10. This story is going very well. And you want to know what's even better? Being that I'm a stickler for it, is it follows the comic book very fucking well.
Oh yeah,
like I can literally.
I mean, it's damn near a 1-to-1.
Yeah, if someone says like, "Whoa," if I wanted to check this out in comics, where do I go? I can literally tell them where to go. Unlike anything else in the world for comic books, not even Gen V, and Gen V was fucking great. And I can't point them into the boys comic or the side comics to tell them where they can find that story, because it doesn't even have any of the characters relatable to it. But Incredibles across the board, just like Last of Us, doing fantastic, doing the 1-for-1, and no complaints there, guys. Go check it out, Prime Video. Totally worth it. Season 1.
Dude, speaking of, and this is going to be like a slightly off topic, but speaking of Prime Video, for those who love literature to TV adaptations, man, Reacher Season 2 is also
they just released it, right?
It's actually next month in December. For those who saw Season 1, it was fantastic. It was based off of the first book for Jack Reacher. Also a fantastic series. Just kind of had to throw that one out there because I love the Jack Reacher series.
Yeah. I like the actor they chose for it. It was
Alan Ritchson.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Tom
Cruise.
The
movies. Did the movies.
Film adaptation, and they ended up getting the guy who was like Colossus or someone like in. He was
actually Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Really?
The ones with Johnny Knoxville, the ones with Megan Fox. He's Raphael.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. He's a big dude, man, but he's such a good actor, though. I think he was.
Yeah, and he played Thad Castle. He played Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Varsity Blues, but it was
same. Close enough.
Pretty much the same. Good shit, man. Good story. Reacher, Prime Video, gonna come out 2 months next month.
Next month.
Check it out, guys. Really, really good. Onwards onto the next part. One of our major points and conversational pieces that will I want to be able to touch base on this. I know we got a couple more minutes left, and I don't want to take I want to take a lot of time on this, but I don't want to take too much time. But Triggs, Loki season 2 just finally wrapped up. We got our entire season all the way through, 1-for-1. First initial idea on what you thought of Loki season 2.
Dude, I'll fight anyone over this, dude. I wish season 1 was just as good as season 2.
Okay.
Like, season 2 to me was like, I know that it was like some people felt that it was a little bit fillery, and I understand why. But I had an amazing ride with it the whole way. Like, it was just something so refreshing and gave me like some good Secret War Time Runs Out vibes a little bit, that like it kind of like satisfied that little niche. Yeah, man, like David said, the whole conversation with He Who Remains it's just one of those yet again philosophical things, like, can you really change time? Like, can you really dictate this? And like for anyone who goes on YouTube and looks up comic books, Rob Jefferson, Comics Explained, he talks about the ending of season 2 and who he thinks Loki is portraying as like the next He Who Remains, essentially. A lot of people think that he's the god of stories. I'm also kind of on that board, but like also like not. And dude, it was just so good, man. So good. Everything that they did with Jonathan Majors, he once again knocked it out of the park. A fucking show stealer. Um, I was just ultimately super happy. This is one of the best things that they've put out in a very, very long time, MCU related.
Good call. Good call. I kind of feel my take on this is that they originally had Loki to be a film. Like they
I could have seen
and the whole series as a film. Like the format of it just feels like it coincides very much with season 1 and season 2 being an entire film.
I could have seen that. Which scene with Mobius? The last one when he's
I
home.
think he's talking about the handshake scene when he goes back to the very first season.
Yeah.
Which I was talking about it maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago that I was like, maybe they're going to have it to where like that whole Mobius circle, because I was kind of a little bit taken that it took 4 episodes or 3 episodes. I don't know when I was talking about this with Brian, that they did the 3 episodes and then they went back and kind of made it to where they did the 3 episodes being a big Mobius or the Ouroboros thing, right?
Yeah.
And then they ended up Ouroborosing all the way back to the previous season, which I was like, whoa, is that why Mobius knew him and like knew exactly, because they went all the way back and he actually, Loki was the one that created the TVA and actually like did all this stuff because they had a relationship prior to when he got arrested. He knew that was all coming. Or like, I was kind of like taken in the idea, like I wanted to start thinking about it and breaking it down. And, I was okay.
It gives you an answer, but it doesn't give you an answer.
Yeah,
it gives you an answer, but very ambiguous, and
Brian asked a
question. Dude. Honestly, of Phase 4, he's had the best arc, hands down.
Overall, I'm not going to say it because Iron Man had the best arc overall. Hands 100%. Down, Iron Man is going to be, and it was consistent all the way through. There was nothing that changed. The thing we have to take into consideration is that Loki himself as a character had been killed off in Endgame, and then these people brought him back because they wanted a way to use him again, so they had to use time travel. This was like 100% to me the way that time travel
could have been used.
Yeah, how it's been overused, right?
Well, not even overused, but could be used.
Yeah, because the thing is like I think what the Russo brothers kind of were very particular about. Like,
I have to disagree with that one, Brian, but I get it. You love Wanda.
Wanda was cool, but I kind of feel like during Age of Ultron they really dropped the ball. Like
for me, just Multiverse of Madness.
No, she had a good build on that. Like you could tell, like without the WandaVision show, Doctor Strange just would have fucking fell real flat. So like for those that didn't watch it, it probably felt like shit.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think me just like this is what I would have wanted instead. I would have rather seen her team up with Doctor Strange against like
that's kind of what we all wanted. I think we all had that as
against like Shimogorath or something like that.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Had that. Yeah, I remember us talking about all that stuff a long time ago. Me, us, and Brian too.
I agree. It really, really did.
Yes.
But like I will have to say that WandaVision just really didn't hit it for me the way that it did for a lot of people. But I know why it did, and I get it. And
it worked very well.
Yeah, and it did work very well. I will never ever take away from that which is WandaVision. It just didn't hit the way that it should have with me.
Yeah, but we also have to take into consideration that when the Russo brothers did write Endgame and Infinity War, they wrote a part into it that was like, okay, well, we need Thor to be like at his last like PTSD realm. We need to remove Loki off the board so they don't have an opportunity to have this like person. So they kill him off just like the way they knocked out the Hulk and took him out in the very beginning. They just really just wrote him out of the story. It was their way of being like, well, let's get rid of him because we don't have a story for Loki in this. He's already done enough.
Yeah.
And and other people that were like, no, but we really want to use him. What do we do? They don't have any say so when it comes to the Disney Plus series. So when the Russo brothers wrote him out, they really didn't want to write him out. So they were like, oh, well, what if they go back in time and give it to us and just bring him back? So in essence, the Loki we got isn't even the consistent same Loki anymore, but he acts the exact same way. Yeah. Like there was really no difference, which I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, like, I guess in the multiverse, you could just find the exact same one and have him do the exact same thing and the exact same stuff. But then the introduction of Sylvie was the thing that kind of changed my mind about that, which is like, okay, like in the multiverse, you can have a Gwen Stacy version of Loki. You can have a female version of Loki. But the thing is I felt that she was super underutilized in this series. In season 2, I kind of feel she was very underused. She was almost like
I do I can understand why, and I agree.
Mhm.
But I think what like I really gonna have to say that that's what her like that's what her story was relegated to, like and I kind of and I accept that because he's a loon. And I accept that because like ultimately, dude, this is Tom Hiddleston's story, not Sandra DiMartino or whatever, or whatever her name is. This is a Loki story, not a Sylvie story. And Sylvie's off doing her own thing, and she got the ending that she wanted.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm still. I mean, I'm not at all disappointed with Loki season 2. I think that it kind of came to fruition. They did an interesting story. I don't really agree with how they ended it, because again, this to me, in the sense of the overarching story of what they're trying to build for, kind of steps on the toes of some other ideas that they've done. But I'm highly impressed with the production quality of Loki, and I kind of hope, in regards, that Marvel takes that as the staple of what they should be doing with all of their Disney Plus series across the board. Because man, if like, fuck, dude, this was production wise fantastic. Production wise, it was fantastic across the board. It was like a movie. Like I said, it deserved to be its own film. It deserved to be put in the theaters all the way through everything. I like that they kind of gave us the final finale of what everybody did outside of this. It gave us a backstory to all the characters that have been a part of it. You get why Mobius is all into wave, what is it, Kawasaki Wave Riders or whatever. You get this idea that he has 2 children. You have this thing where, like, now, since he works with the TVA and has that, and those people also have a lot of their memories back, that there's this desire for the TVA to have actual purpose into why it protects the timeline, as to why it maintains whatever it is that it's supposed to be, because they understand the value and the consequence if they're not there to be the first line of defense. I really like that that's what they gave the TVA, and it has that much more purpose to it. Again, the idea, what I was kind of bummed out with, I'm not going to say this is like a game changer. This is more of like a nitpick, I guess, which was the several decades later moment.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
I was very like, do you think we're dumb, like an audience? Like, could you have not artistically kind of written that in over and over again and shown us that through all of these trials and tribulations, like the Run Lola Run situation, that you were giving me a Loki that was learning this science and learning these structures and understanding, like the Jane Foster, there's an oddly romance between the magical, the cosmic, and the science? Or did you have to verbally and write it in front of me and say 28 decades later and Loki gets his master's in physics, and then next episode, here he is, now he knows quantum physics and stuff? I was kind of disappointed in that. There was a big part of me that it took me out of that moment, where I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's smart enough to do his own deciding or decisions or whatever. So that was a major thing. Triggs, how did you feel about that?
It didn't really bother me, honestly.
No.
Nah. No, because honestly, yeah, like what Brian said, like it gave depth.
How?
To me it gave depth, because like now, like you're understanding how long it's taking him, how many times he's having to do this and relive certain moments over and over and over again just to understand something that he feels like he needs to be a part of, so that he could also, like, because like like the saying goes, 2 heads are better than 1, 3 heads are better than 2. So like like I understand why that part was there. It was to give depth to how long it's been taking him, how many times he's had to do that.
Yeah, but in film, that's what you use
Yeah,
montages for. Like that's a montage. That's practically what they were doing at the very beginning of that.
yeah, but they didn't need. Yeah, but very much like with that same logic, they don't need a montage. They could just give us 2 words
It
centuries
was a
later.
montage. What do you mean they didn't need it? It was. It was a montage at that moment. They were dying, coming back, dying, coming back, dying, changing, coming back, dying, changing, coming back. That's like when you're watching Rocky and he does like 10 push-ups. Then later he's doing 20. Then later
Yeah,
he's like
but at the
picking up
same
a
yeah,
buffalo.
and but like at the same time, like I
Fine,
said,
positive.
like it also needs but it needs to like have depth. Like like how else are you going to express that?
Visually. Yeah, I don't need disposition.
Well, yeah, okay, but that's you. Like you are a singular person. That like I very much like WandaVision. It didn't hit for me, so it didn't hit for you, but
I
it hit
guess.
for everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah, for me, myself, like since the production quality of the thing had been going, and they spent so much time on showing us that, like, oh hey, look, he can go backwards in time because he runs into himself. Oh, look at it, he goes backwards in time. You know, he can go back into the 1942s on a sacred timeline, and then on another timeline because it's there. Like we can visually show you. I kind of feel like the idea of him picking up those skills in between all of that nature would have shown us a more organic growth to the character on why he respected Obi's decisions on things more and why it was necessary for them to be in those situations. Because like at the end, when he sits there and he sits with he who remains, and he finally, like, because of the knowledge he's gained because of all his prior mistakes and all this stuff, like there are certain realizations in a conversation that he says, and I can't do that because of this. And the guy's like, "You got it. There you go, champ." There you
but at the same time, like that's where that depth hits because you get that not just in that moment, but it also plays for a later on moment. Like he's spent centuries trying to learn and assist Obi and Victor
over and over
in
again.
in a one particular thing, in one thing he's had to learn hundreds of different disciplines on just trying to help them with one
How do you know
single
it's
problem.
hundreds?
Well, I mean, bro, time travel, the loom, that particular that particular issue. I mean, dude, that's
How do
not
you know
just a
that
say.
though? You're assuming that. You're assuming that, and that's the reason why it's used this way, because it makes us just assume that he learned all of this stuff. If
Well,
we
he
don't know
did
he's
like
learning those specific things, and we know we can't say he does. What's the difference
he
between
immediately, yeah, but he immediately like helps them with like that particular issue. He has to understand these things that he's talking about. That way, if something does go wrong, he can adjust it and have those proper adjustments, not just because he's lived through those adjustments.
but the thing is to learn those things, you have to live through those and understand them, right?
Yes, but like you and I are saying the same thing twice. You understand that, right?
I mean, I'm getting it. It's just that you're telling me you're assuming
I'm
that
not
that's what
assuming
he's doing.
like that. No, I'm not assuming
Because
that
I'm
it was.
assuming that he just learned physics, which I guess, because it doesn't really explain as to what he learned. Because there's different concepts to physics. Physics itself is just a gen. That's like me saying I learned English, and it's like, okay, well, what parts of English writing did you really learn? Like, how far does that dedication go? Like, there's a bunch of different variations of physics. So, like, I
I'm
get it. I
aware.
get it. I get the fact that the reason why the disposition letter came out was to tell us as the audience, he learned it already. Don't ask questions. And we just say, okay, cool, he learned it. Let me just accept it. But I myself, since the production of the film and this series was so well, I would have preferred to see some of that learned organically, like visually.
In visually, do you know how long it would take to explain some of those concepts?
Probably about the same time it took for them to film Victor Timely running out on the trailer like 18,000
Probably,
times.
probably
Yeah,
not.
it would have been like a minute.
Probably not. No, probably not.
Because
Probably not.
that's all it takes.
But
All
okay.
it takes is, you know what it could have been? Is it could have been this. He shows up in certain parts, and in one of the flashbacks of the already going what is it, the montage, he corrects someone in a different faction as to how he had been correcting him before. So that would be like if they come in, he does something physical like tighten a screw, and someone says something that naturally that it would just be like Obi and Victor Timely talking about, like something like they're just kind of conversing across the physical aspect of physics. And Loki comes in and says, "Yeah, well, because of this equation, that's probably not going to work. So we're going to have to bounce on that." And then Sylvie looks at him and goes, "What the fuck? Like when? What do you? When did you learn that?" And him be like, "Don't worry about it." Like, and then you start to realize, like, oh fuck, Groundhog's Day. Like this fucker's been doing this a lot. He's been doing it a lot because it's just Groundhog's Day. That's all this thing took is Groundhog's Day. And there's a purpose in those stories, and that's why it's always written that way. Where there's a moment in the Groundhog's Day where the person loses interest, and they just feel like it's an infinite.
I'm losing interest. I've lost interest. Like that would have been so fucking boring.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, Triggs, what else, man?
Well, I mean, everyone thinks that he's the god of stories now. So, like, and I understand why.
Yeah, but why though? Why is he the god of stories?
Well,
like,
I mean,
he develop this power though. Like, when did his power loom into the fact that he could like restart multiverses?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do we need Kang? Like, if he sits at the end of time now,
I don't know. Why did we need He Who Remains?
Well, he's an actual dude that thought that this would work. Loki's a god that can literally reinvigorate a whole multiverse with just illusion power. So. Yeah, I don't. What? Because right now he's more powerful than Odin, if you like to think about it. More powerful than Thor, more powerful than any one of those characters.
Oh yeah, I mean now Gaia's like bitch made again.
Yeah, but how? Okay, so where does this put Loki across the board, and how did he get there? Just on physics?
I don't know. Like honestly, if that's the case, then through that same logic, like was it Dark Doctor Strange, the one who like. Yet again fucked with the multiverse and made it into like a marble with the like zombie one, right? Something like that, but the Ultron and Ultron and Killmonger like fight and just like stop that and then like the
wait, are you going back to What If?
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
But since that's canonized, like same thing.
But that's because they had the Infinity Stones. But then, I mean, then they established in the What If series that the Infinity Stones work across the multiverses.
Well, clearly they don't because fucking because fucking the TVA's got a whole bunch of them and you could have just done lines. Yeah, exactly. They're someone's like paperweights.
So like okay, but like being with what we got from the Loki series, we understood. Loki is a Loki. Like, that's just what he is. Okay, all right. Easier question. How is it that him understanding how to control the time skipping, which I guess could be a thing because he removed himself from the time loom, like, I'll give them that. I can't answer questions because I don't understand the science and nor am I going to try to break it down because I sucked at physics and geometry. But I'm going to guess since he was able to remove himself like the way he was told to do it originally, and he was time skipping, he was able to remove himself from a timeline. So he's on the outside of time. And him being
which would essentially allow him to learn, I guess, how to move between branches and time.
Yeah, because of his love for Sylvia or whatever they figured out. Yeah, he figured it out when he lost all his friendship or whatever. What is it? Manga, Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
And once he lost the fucking friendships, then he was like, "Oh, I can control it."
Dude. And plus, they also got a time skip. So, boom, there you go, Shonen.
But yeah, pretty much. But in my opinion, it's like okay, from the time slip,
I've seen that too. I don't know how I feel about that.
How does he restart a dead timeline with his powers? I don't get that.
Who the fuck knows, dude?
Like, I mean, I can accept it, and I don't mind because, like, Tom Hiddleston needs a break. Like, fuck him, sit him at the end of time and stop using him. And then later on, fucking Secret Wars comes.
Let him.
You have your, like I said, you have your Thor and your Sentry or Blue Marvel do the Beyonders thing, and everything comes to an end. And fucking god of whatever the fuck Loki is picks him up, and Thor's like, Loki, and he's like, I can explain, brother, or what, kind of like that fucking kickback.
No, man. You know what I can even see is that like, and this I kind of liked this theory, and it was a Rob Jefferson one, and it was basically that like Loki at the end of time sees the Kings coming, so he just starts from like each timeline, just starts picking out his multiversal Avengers.
Yeah, because that's going to correlate into the whole Avengers Prime or whatever.
But yeah, and we could even use that for Time Runs Out.
Yeah, I mean, I could figure that more for like Secret Wars, because they'll be the ones that
which leads in, exactly. Which leads into Battle World, or if that's even how they do it, like there's gonna, this could either like be used for a different date, or they could just leave it alone, and that'd be it.
Yeah, because this is like a super OP Loki.
Yeah,
like it's way more like norm. Like there's no way that any Kang like can fight this guy, because man, I have no problem with what Jonathan Majors has been doing with his characters. He's been doing fantastic. It's already hard enough to pull one dude, much less 8 or whatever the fuck. But they've found ways to literally like depower and just depower Kang. That's all I've seen across this. Like even in this show with Loki, like the one who sits at the end, or the he who remains, just figured out that this is just the way things need to go. So he was just a really good planner.
Yeah.
Where we know in the comic books, which I'm just going to relate to, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore, that Kang,
good. Now you're learning.
No, that's a shit thing too, because like that's a blueprint that's out there that they want to say they're following and they don't, and then they fuck it up in the end, because that's all they've been doing. They've just been fucking up a bunch of shit, right? Kang has been this villain that he sits at the end of time, and he's the one who remains because he's Kang the Conqueror. He literally sits on a throne because he's conquered everything because of his technology. And what we're basing right now is that Kang is from the past who made it into the future, then made shit, and then traveled across time, which I guess, I mean, but then it wasn't even his fault, because Obi wrote the book, and then he wrote it too later on because Obi sent the book to him, and it wasn't even him who won the Kang War. It was Ramona Renslayer who fucking pulls the trigger on all the guns. Like, and Kang is just like manipulated. He's Mephisto. He's fucking Mephisto right now.
Boom,
and
Mephisto confirmed.
All the time. Mephisto just gets fucking reamed all the time. He doesn't even have any clothes on, man. He just has a loincloth, for fuck's sakes. Jonathan Majors, it's like I said, he's done such an amazing job with the character. And yeah, I know he's in a shit situation that they want to replace him, but do you think that the reason why they put Loki so high is because they're going to replace him by chance?
Oh man, I hope.
Or is
not.
that they're making it to where like, well, if it fucks up, we got Loki sitting here. So
honestly, that last
that kind of
you just
more,
said,
right?
Yeah,
because I mean, I hear it. I hear people with the whole like Loki got a stories, Loki got a shit, and I'm like, nah, man, I don't know, man. Like, that got a story thing, like you would have to be really deep cuts with Loki as a character in the comics to really know what that even means. And even that, like the God of Stories situation, like last month, barely got like kicked into like high gear, much less it be like embedded in the comic book system like Loki has across the universe. Because this story follows more of Loki, God of Agent of Atlas, which correlates a lot with the Young Avengers. Like that one correlates a tremendous amount with Young Lad or Iron Lad and the Young Avengers. And not only that, I can see that working because now Sylvie's left. You have Miss Marvel's mid-credit scene with the Kate Bishop chick, and Sylvie's a part of that team. But so is also the teenage, K-pop version of Loki with the half horn cut off.
Yeah.
So, like, I just think they're going to correlate those two characters because if you think about it, like, Sylvie really, really does act like that version of Loki. Like, the one where she's like, well, I'm not a Loki. I'm my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just do my own thing and I can travel through time because I'm Loki or whatever. But she still has He Who Remains time thing. Does she still have it?
Maybe.
Like, because he went back in time and changed all of it. So does that mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
no, I mean I get it, but like that's just one of those This just, I mean, not even really confusion. It's more of just like, what are they going to do with it? Like afterwards, does she still have the ability to do X, Y, Z? You know, it's
Yeah, does
just,
she still have
well,
that?
you know, like we're just gonna have to wait and see with certain things.
Yeah, because I did really like the way it all came to fruition. The last couple of minutes of him doing like the walk across and creating Idrisil and doing it, that was gorgeous, dude.
Oh, dude, that was
Like
amazing.
that was fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah, dude, that
The whole scene of
cinematically
him
that was
walking
amazing.
and his clothes like fucking being torn off and the horns coming out and then being like obsidian, like I was like, damn, where has this storytelling been? Like, where has this been in the Marvel universe? Like, you can really, really appreciate that, even though it's just like it almost feels brand new because you don't really know what they're doing with the character or where they're taking him. But wherever they took him, it just looked fucking fantastic.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for that moment. I don't know what they're gonna
Yeah.
do with it, and I don't know how they got there. But man, if that's what they wrote around it, like man, that fucking worked, dude. That was gorgeous as shit. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. Overall, season 2 Loki, it's very much to me, it kind of plays out like a really crazy episode of Rick and Morty. Like it's just there's a lot of movement, a lot of going backwards and forwards. I mean,
Yeah, with a
since
lot
it's
of less
done-
dick jokes.
yeah, a lot less dick jokes. I guess like now that we have all 6 episodes, thank God you can go back and watch it and feel fulfilled. I guess like while watching this, while it was coming out, it was very, very hard to dictate what they were doing. And, you know, when they would leave it on a cliffhanger or whatnot, it kind of felt a little confusing, especially for myself. But now that we got all 6 episodes, like, yeah, there's a little bit of like, oh, well, they could have maybe done away with that. But at the end, everything comes to fruition. Everything comes to fruition. The TVA feels more fulfilling. It feels more like it has a real purpose. What's up, Big John? Good to see you in the comment section, my dude. Love you, man. I feel like for what the TVA was in the first season to now, I feel like it has more meaning. Like they understand, like the people in the TVA, like they understand the love and dedication to what they do as a purpose. Their purpose feels more signified because now they know what the timeline's about. Some of them know their history. Some of them get to live their life sort of like there's a lot of that like heartfelt to what the TVA really is now. I like the establishment of it after season 2. I think you're correct. Season 2 hit harder, way, way harder. And yeah, I think it's a good 8.5, 9 out of 10 for a series. I think it's probably the best series so far that Marvel has put out. I think.
Oh yeah, I agree. You know,
I think they need to kind of put this at the foothold of what they need to establish themselves every time that they create a series. I know that we got a trailer for Echo, I think like last week.
Yeah.
Which it looks pretty good. It looks interesting and nonetheless, and it looks kind of dark and gritty. I think it's going to be on Hulu. I think it's going to be NC-17. It's going to be a little bit more like a, you know, or TV 18 or whatever, something for adults. So guys, make sure you keep an eye for that because Echo goes far. She may be like a street level character right now and just a chick that can kick butt and fight Daredevil. But this chick ends up being the fucking Phoenix. And she's fighting in the Avengers through time, the multiversal Avengers team. So she's like a heavy hitter, man. She's a fucking heavy hitter. I don't know if they're ever going to go that far, but in the comics, she's a beast, man. She's a beast. Yeah, and Brian Davis comments in with the coolest thing saying, and it connects very well to the overall MCU. Masterfully done.
I agree.
So too. Yeah, I don't really know what it does yet, but it does connect. It does connect very well. So 8 out of 5, 8.59. Triggs, what do you give it, man?
Oh, dude, an easy 9. Easy 9.
Excellent. Highly recommended, guys. Go check it out. Disney Plus, Loki season 2. Fucking snapback. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Very much like Gen V. Gen V was super good at the end. Last part of the conversation. We don't got much, but we don't got really much to talk about it anyways. The Marvels film review. Triggs has not seen the Marvel.
I have not.
And he does not have his Willy Wonka golden ticket to really care to go rush to see it.
Yeah.
So we kind of agreed that we would kind of casually touch base on some spoilers and some talks. Triggs
only because they're already out there. Like,
yeah.
Let's like. I'm not even like, guys. Don't kid yourselves. You know that they're out there. So
Triggs, what I'll let you do is I'll let you take the floor if there's anything in particular since you haven't seen it and you kind of like, hey, I heard this. Is it like that? You know, kind of if you want to ask any kind of questions in particular.
The only really like real thing that I kind of care about that I kind of want any kind of definitive answer on would have to be, um, uh, did anything change with Miss Marvel, like like her character, Imani Vallon, his character,
Um,
like from the TV show to the movie.
I think I'm gonna tell you 100% that Kamala Khan and Mila Milani was probably the best thing in this film.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that with without a doubt, 100%, like 10 out of 10. Like that's
Well,
like
I mean,
it was her. Like she's
she
the absolute showstopper, and like
she did very very well, and she plays the part that she's given well. Which I mean, I kind of wasn't for it at first, where she was like this comedy relief, but then again, like they do kind of show you that her powers, even though she's a powerful person, it kind of comes up short to what Miss Marvel is. Like she can't fly, like she could just stretch and do certain things. Like so, there's certain times where she is the young
character
in the team. Yeah, like the young, immature Vash part of the team. But I some people will say like there's not a lot of growth in her character or no growth. I think there is a little bit. And the reason why there is growth is because of the fact that she made it to the point where she got to see her hero up close. And it wasn't all that fucking cakes and butterflies and beautiful things. She got to see the darker shit.
Yeah, the never meet your heroes.
Yeah, like 100%. Because there were parts in the film where there were some decisions that had to be made that Kamala Khan disagreed with, and Captain Marvel was like, "I don't fucking care. Get in the car. You're gonna listen to me."
Yeah,
and she made that face like she was like the disappointment. The disappointment shows very very much, and those scenes really work a lot. Like they work a lot, but they're so minorly touched on that it sucks. Like that's the only thing that sucked, is that that's a really good point that you could have had some like discerning conversation between both characters and a learning experience for Kamala Khan growing up to be a hero raised by a soldier, which is Captain Marvel's character. She's not like a Tony Stark character. She's not out there just doing it because she wants to be cool. She wants to be popular, or she wants people to love her. She's doing it because she knows that's her job. Like as a soldier, that's her job. She just goes out there and does. So she's willing to be like a little bit more stern variation of Captain America and make those decisions. Even though some of her decisions are dumb as shit, nonetheless, they're still dumb. They're still decisions like as a strategic person. And Kamala Khan as a child doesn't understand that, stopping robbers, stopping people from robbing a bank. Like her distinctly fighting a war in a galactic level, this is like way out of her pay grade.
Yeah,
and it shows completely.
Very much out of her depth, sort of thing.
Real heavy. She kind of explains it. Like there's times where she breaks that meta and she's like, I'm just a hero of Jersey. Like this is hard for me to comprehend. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Fucking pulling the audience back. All right. I get it.
Kind of understands her lane,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Straight up. But other than that, she does very well. The family dynamic is really good. Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming and unnecessary because you already understand the dynamics of them being involved in people's lives at risk and stuff. And then the family comes in and does like the family stuff from the TV show.
Yeah.
The old traditional grandma, Mexican grandma kind of vibes and shit. It's there. Like all that stuff is there. The only other thing that I would say kind of sucks is it does kind of give you this vibe where like Miss Marvel as a character really likes Captain Marvel. She loves her, dude. Like she's like embedded with her like in life. And everything kind of derives around her conversations and looking up to Miss Marvel. And there's certain parts where Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel are having like a straight up dedicated conversation to their relationship and their years of understanding. And they're having breakthroughs in their conversations and their relationships. And then all of a sudden the camera will pan to Kamala Khan and she's like, yeah, I'm here too. Like, and you're like, oh yeah. All right. Like this kid that I have no relation to, I have to kind of give her the same love in the same aspect and format. And sometimes it kind of like, it misses.
Yeah.
It misses, but if I was like 15 or 16, I would have been like, haha, cute or whatever. Like I would have been cool about it. Like you could tell that there's certain parts that this movie works with like a younger generation, and there's certain parts that it's just a straight up superhero story, and it works with any generation. I feel myself that Marvel is in a position that it doesn't have that luxury to really pick and choose an audience. That it really just needs to make good movies in general. It can't be like, oh well, it's only for people that are 3 feet tall or whatever. Like it needs to be like, hey, dude, this is just a good fashion movie. Come watch it. We want everybody to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel it needs, rather than picking and choosing where the audience needs to be. I mean, other than that, I mean, it's just a generic story. There are some parts that I feel like they stole from like the Spaceballs movie. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
I've actually heard
Have
that
you heard
exact.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
because those-
if you've seen Spaceballs, you've seen this movie.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, oh.
no. After watching it, I feel like it's very hard to convey strengths in this world, like power scaling, right?
Yeah, it's still very Dragon Ball Z-esque.
Dude, it's weird, bro. Like, because there's times like, okay, this chick, Darben, who is the villain in the story, she's just a Kree soldier. She's nothing special. She's just a chick, just like a part of it. And we all know that Carol Danvers at the ending of Endgame, like fucking gave the smoke to Thanos.
Yeah.
Like enough that he was like, fuck, I got headbutted by this chick and I'm seeing fucking stars. I need to steal the power gem and punch this bitch out. Right? Like we all remember that. And all of a sudden this Darben chick, after getting one bangle, which is equivalent to what Kamala Khan has, like is tanking Carol Danvers in certain part. Literally beating the shit out of her, fucking swinging around in the sky when Thanos couldn't do that. And I'm supposed to believe that this was just a normal Kree chick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was kind of, there were parts, because other parts, you know, Carol Danvers and Marie Rambeau are just beating the fuck out of her. And then there's other parts where she just like tanks them. And they give it up to the idea that I guess the MacGuffin is when Carol Danvers uses her powers, she sucks in the power for the bangles and then distributes that power and hits her back with it. And I'm not sure if at that moment, maybe the siphoning of her power weakens her, that she gets hit with it and then it hurts her. Maybe we can chalk it up to that, right?
Maybe, yeah. I would need to see the movie to like form my own opinion. Yeah, to form my own opinion on that particular instance.
But this chick on base level is just a Kree chick, which was the villain in Marvel's one, the Marvel one, right? Captain Marvel one. Yeah. Which I mean, Carol Danvers beat the brakes off of a bunch of those motherfuckers in hallways.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I guess, dude, if they don't have any special weapons from what's established in the first movie, which Jude Law's character had like a gun and a jetpack, and he had like all this shit that he was fighting her with, and other than that, she fucking railed him like paper, dude. Like, I don't see a factor in how Darben was supposed to be like an overarching villain. The hammer she uses is the exact same hammer as Ronin.
Yeah, it's an accuser's hammer.
But for some weird reason, it already had the purple power on it. So, like, I would have been a little bit more forgiving if they would have said, that's Ronin's hammer. Like, Ronin with the established, like, leftover power from the power gem, like, kind of still in it, residual, that it still I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's badass or whatever. And then that's the other thing is the bangle, right? The bangle is the other MacGuffin that kind of gives her the power. But that would be equivalent to Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan being as strong as Carol Danvers also.
Yeah.
Which she definitely isn't. Definitely is not. Like, even just on the whim, just her little glass shit was getting broken just by people hitting it or whatever, or shooting it with a gun. Like, Carol Danvers is way fucking stronger than that. So there's a little bit of like, they're not really telling us the rules of all of this power sense. And then the other thing that was it had a cool premise, but it didn't work, was the switching, the quantum entanglement between each character.
Yeah.
You saw that in the trailer. It's not a
Yeah.
really big spoiler. Like, it's not too crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's nothing being ruined for the story.
but my thing is like, okay, cool, good idea, cool way to kind of add this like fun little like, oh, this is why it's not easy. There's a cool, like I said, a cool montage of the girls teaching themselves how to work with it, like
Yeah.
trying to jump between each other and them trying to understand it more. Really great understanding. One thing that I had a problem with is that it only works a certain way sometimes. And then like other times it doesn't work and the girls can use their powers occasionally.
Yeah.
2, since it works with the powers of light and then the activation of the entanglement of the bracers, because Kamala Khan isn't connected to a light source or like a gate or anything that they're talking about. She just, her, in the beginning, her bracer just activates and they all just switch spots. Why didn't Darben switch when she got her bangle? Like, why didn't she get entangled with them also? If she has the exact same bangle opposite of Kamala Khan's. And then my last question, to even add more insult to injury, why didn't that chick from Secret Invasion get entangled since she has Carol Danvers' power and DNA? The Skrull chick, remember at the end, she gets the fucking power. Why didn't she get entangled? That's how that, and I'm not acting to be a dick. I'm just asking because I want an explanation of why this works or why it does this without these two people being like excommunicated from that subject.
The only thing that I can think of with that last one is it actually has to be the person
activated, right? The Skrull chick,
like
right? That's the only thing I was like, okay, well,
like no, like it actually has to be the physical person, not the DNA, because even then she only has compounds of it. You know, it's not
but
like
she has the power of. None of those people have the power that Miss Marvel has.
Hold on, Jesus Christ!
Okay. I need an explanation. Go for it. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna just shut up and listen.
Yeah, is the only thing that I can think of is like, okay, so quantum entanglement, like in the short and skinny, it deals with the form, right? Gaia doesn't have the form; hers is ever changing. So like very much like that doesn't really apply to her because her powers are not directly linked to what like gave.
I know. I was gonna say, can I add a little bit?
Write it down.
I was gonna say, can I add just something just to get your mind moving? Even though it's ever changing and she has to activate the power through the DNA and change something of her body, yeah, we're already coming to an end. She activates the power in the series of Secret Invasion without changing her body composition.
Yeah, I know, but that's still like my still original thing is that like she herself is not Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers, like her powers originated from like that engine, right? Like that's how she did it. The blown up engine.
She has that fucking quantum engine.
Yeah. So like there's already like quantum entanglement going on with her.
It was a power stone too, right? It was an infinity stone.
Was it?
I want to say it was a purple one, the Power Stone or something.
Dude, I don't
remember.
Yeah, man, that's a movie I really don't feel like rewatching.
Brian,
load us up on that one. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of because quantum entanglement deals with the form, you know, and especially if we're gonna go to, you know, originations of powers, you know, like. I still don't understand because I'm going to call her Spectrum. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about Maria Rambeau's. Her name is Spectrum. I still like don't really understand.
That's you in this movie.
Yeah, that like she got her powers because of Wanda, right? Like she got like blasted with the whole.
She even says she went through a gate of hex magic. And she established herself with quantum magic. Okay, so she says that herself. So it does have nothing to do about quantum energy.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm kind of just like, dude, like science, right? Yeah.
Kat Denning was there. She needed to explain it to me.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And I need the fucking Asian FBI guy.
Oh yeah, also. The magic guy.
Yeah. Jimmy, right? I think that's his name.
Jimmy. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's funny.
But yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of. Is that it? Like, it has to be like somehow or another that they were all like connected, like actual connections through their powers and stuff like that.
That makes a lot of sense. They have to be, right? And to me, the only thing that connects Maria Rambeau and Carol Danvers is their physical relationship being like
like or like some sort of like metaphysical, like sisterly, motherly, sisterly thing.
And I would have considered like maybe if Wanda was still alive, would she have been quantum entangled too in this whole situation?
I mean, theoretically, yes.
Well, right?
Yeah, theoretically, yes, because she's an originator of someone's powers.
So then if that's the case, and it's all based on entanglement through that type of relation of meaning that it needs to be relative to the power established, right? Why Kamala Khan then?
I'm gonna have to just say the metaphysical relationship of her idolizing Captain Marvel.
So just
not that that should be an answer. Not that that should be an answer, but that's all I've got. Yeah, but that's all I've got. Like, if I'm gonna give you an answer, that's the answer I'm gonna give you.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though, man. Like, it's really, really hard to explain this when it's like it's not really established how. I understand there's different parts that the characters will come out of, like Monica Rambeau, Photon or Spectrum, whatever you want to call her, comes out and says, "This is why it's happening. This is why we're all connected." But she says her power is connected, and there's
the hex magic.
Because they're all connected because of quantum light energy. And my thing is like, well, the chick with the bangles now does it because she can open up fucking time and space with the bangle. Kamala Khan's power, even though she's able to manipulate light into a physical construct, has nothing to do with Carol Danvers' cosmic powers, quantum powers based on the Infinity Stone, like at a cosmic level. Because then if that's the case, and she's able to do that with light, why aren't like Tony Stark's arc reactor and all of that fucking getting quantum entangled with shit? Because it's all dealing with light energy in some way, right? Like it's a little bit, it's just really loose.
Well, arc reaction actually deals with electricity, but I understand the
spectrum of it.
Yeah, right? like the mindset behind that.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, then why didn't fucking Pietro, like get quantum entangled?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or anyone that was ever established with the Infinity Stone, right?
Yeah. Why isn't his body just floating in space or whatever?
That'd be fucking funny.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of parts that were like, you could tell they wrote them in and they didn't think of like all the ideas behind it, right?
And like on that same like breath, I really have to say, but why should it be necessary for all of that? Because then you just become overly convoluted. Because like sometimes there's too much information.
Yeah.
To follow. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Everybody wants an answer to something. And I totally understand that, but sometimes there's just too much for the time that you're being given.
Yeah, like I think all of these films and all of these like stories and stuff should be able to be like soloed and have fun on its own. Deep down inside, I think this movie was supposed to be just a fun superhero girl.
What I think that you want is like the director's cut where he like explains everything. Like the 7-hour director's cut where they go through everything, dude.
Nah, I'm not gonna watch 7 hours of this shit, dude. I barely made it through Justice League with you, and I was like, I love those guys. You know what I mean? Much less a fucking team I don't care.
Hey man, I'm still gonna say it, man. I was there, bro. You like the first 3 questions that you asked, they were answered within 30 seconds.
Yeah, within 30 seconds.
You were like, hey man, why does this happen, bro? Blah 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 blah. Okay. Oh, well, then why did this happen? Well, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I was like, damn, Chris, like, man, they're telling you, shut the fuck up, Chris.
They had 4 hours to get everything covered, man. They better have it covered. This movie, I'm going to probably give it like a 6, dude. Like a 6 or a 5. And I'm not giving it to it because I hate it or I want women to fail or I'm like a bigot.
It was just a weak movie.
It's just weak. I love Kamala Khan. I think she's great, and she's exactly what I wanted for America Chavez's character in Doctor Strange. Like the way that they took care of her character in this is what I wanted with her character in that one. Like it was just that I understand because I lived that part in comic book history that I remember that no one gave a fuck about any of the characters right now. Like no
Yeah.
one was buying these comic books. Like nobody cared for them because they thought they all sucked. And then they're bringing out they're bringing out the movies and they're telling us now that we have to like them. And it's like, hey, like, why
See,
don't you
and for me, I could give a fuck about Kamala Khan when during her comic book run, and now I'm kind of like, I guess, I guess I could buy a comic.
I love
book.
this girl. I think she's great. I think she's fucking fantastic.
And almost the same with America Chavez. I still think America Chavez is a
she needs a little bit more to grow. Her as an actress, like everything she does outside is cool. Kate Bishop was a fucking breath of fresh air, but in the story, like I liked Kate Bishop in the comics. Like I thought she did fairly well on them introducing a new Hawkeye, like kind of like pickup character, and she did very good. Same thing with the Patriot kid in the Falcon movie, right? Because they're building up.
U.S. soldier or
US agent.
Yeah, U.S. agent.
Yeah, they're building up that Sarge or whatever. They're building up his character.
Because he's going to be a Thunderbolt, right? You know, we all know
he's in the Young Avengers. He's the Captain America character. He's the kid with the shield that's like he has like almost like the Bucky old school like half mask. He's called the Patriot.
Oh, I mean, I know who he is.
Yeah, and he'll be okay. Like, I mean, the kid that they chose to play him, around the time that they're gonna pick these up, like it's cool. The Cassie Lang character, I don't give a fuck about. Like, I don't really care too much. I didn't think she was all that great.
Honestly, I want to see her grow more.
Yeah,
I just want to see her grow more.
The movie, the actress did really well. She does fucking good. That actress is really well. The comic books, not too crazy.
No one can give a fuck.
I think, and I'm just excited for them to see who they're gonna bring out for Young Lad or Iron Lad. Like if they're gonna bring out that kid from Iron Man 3, or since they brought him out at the ending of the funeral, or if they're gonna switch them out, which I think they're gonna do for Ironheart. Which I'm kind of like, you can't because he's a Kang variant. You know what I mean? Like, and then you end up changing the whole story that what Ironheart is a Kang variant, which I'm gonna be like, come on, man, like, just do it right for once, man. Like, Kang's already got shit on all this time. Okay, so
plus I hate Riri Williams.
Yeah, nobody liked her in the comics, so it's understandable. What other questions by chance would you have for the Marvels if you were thinking in the sense of like, I really want to go check it out? I'm kind of confused on this. If like you're like, maybe I won't go see it.
Honestly, it's not that I have questions. It's more of just I need to go see it for myself. Like, I'm really the kind of guy that like I really try and not. Yeah, I need to experience it myself because like not only have I been let down with critics, but I've also disagreed heavily with critics on things that I thought were both good and bad.
Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I've been dealing with that this week because this story was oof, man, it's a banger. Like it's a ringer, man. Like you really have to like there's parts of this film that really feel like a early 2000 superhero film. Like very Hancock, very just fun superhero stories. And some of the things that they're doing just seem really immature.
Yeah.
Like immature. Like the cats thing, that was really stupid. Like the singing planet, like that was a little, oh my gosh. Like that's
they had another Mogo, essentially.
Mogo? What's Mogo?
It's the living planet.
No.
Sorry, another Ego?
The Ego, not Mogo. No, you're talking the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right, then, but that's the right one.
Well, he is a living planet, though. So
no. There is a planet that they visit that everyone on the planet sings.
Like that's weird.
I'm like, it's imagine you just going on a planet and everything's a musical.
I would kill myself,
dude. Oh man, dude. And it works for like a minute, and then you're like, "No, I'm done. Please stop."
Yeah, I would kill myself.
Yeah, it's a little jarring at first. There's some of it that starts fun, and the cool thing is like, Miss Marvel's characters, like she's the one that's like fucking like just having fun with it. Monica Rambeau looks super uncomfortable like at all times. I'm kind of taken by her character though. Like I love her and I think she's amazing, but I think her character falls short in this film. Very much like the way Nick Fury's character. Like I understand.
Okay. Last question I would really have to ask: is there any Sam Jackson?
Um, he plays like the man on the couch. He's
Okay.
Charlie's Angel. He's Charlie to Charlie's Angels.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's not too bad. A lot of people are really shitting on it. It's not as bad as Secret Invasion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Secret Invasion. It's literally just okay. I will tell you, with the way he's been playing his roles recently, I wouldn't want a Mace Windu movie.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
just let me say that out loud really quick. It's nothing against Sam Jackson, but the way he's been choosing his roles recently and being happy to do them, I'm really not excited for him to do Mace Windu. Like I would have wanted him to be.
You know what? You just put the character down. Let it go. Why don't you let Jonathan Majors take over that one?
Just let it chill, man. Like,
you know what, dude? That could be the role that restarts his fucking.
I really hope, man. And you know what? There's always big talks of him coming back and doing his thing. But yeah, for what he's been doing recently, I wouldn't want a Mace Windu movie. I want him to kind of like kick back and bring us something strong if he does it.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So like John is a really big contributor to the Marvel universe. He loves this stuff. Even if it's like a bad movie or good, he's gonna love it either way because he's a comic book lover. Like I take his word for it. And even him says, yeah, like Nick Fury in this one is like he really takes a back seat to what he normally is. Which, you know, for us being comic book lovers, Nick Fury has always been this like pinnacle of the espionage, you know, Solid Snake kind of character, big boss.
Mm-hmm.
And he just doesn't feel that way anymore. But like I said, to me, I think it's a watchable movie. If you're a fan of this, you can go watch it and be fun. I'm not gonna lie, I just got done fucking praising Five Nights at Freddy's, and I know people did not like that movie. And the reason why I liked it is because I'm a fan. The reason why people didn't like it is because they don't know the series, they don't know the lore, they don't know where it leads to. They were expecting so much more because they thought that's what it was. And for me in my situation in this, I think that's what it is. If you're a fan of Captain Marvel, if you're a fan of Monica Rambeau or Miss Marvel,
this is probably going to work for you.
I think you're going to get your licks out of it. I really do. I think you're just going to have your opportunity to see them on screen and have a good time. And it's everything you've wanted to happen, which was them meet up and come together as characters in a group.
Yeah.
I could see that. And for that, I'm happy you guys got that. For the everyday goer, I kind of feel like it was a little bit taken, and I don't feel like it hits as hard as the Marvel MCU needed it to hit.
Yeah.
Is it a failure? I don't think it's like a failure like a lot of people are trashing it, because it's still going to make money. People are still going to love it. Brie Larson in her princess dress, she is breathtaking. She's a gorgeous lady. I love her. And I can't wait to see her in Scott Pilgrim. And yeah, man. If you guys do get the opportunity to go check it out, check it out. Enjoy it. Let us know in the comment section. Ooh, I got the hiccups. What you guys think? Oh, I got to tell you, the reason why I got the hiccups, not sponsored though. These candies. Have you ever seen these candies?
No.
They're Willy Wonka's magical hat gummies, Trigger.
Look, I know I always say fuck them kids, but you know, like Willy Wonka kills these kids, dude. He is Freddy. Like he is Freddy.
Yeah, he is. It's a manical story, bro. Manic story. Dude. You should go check it out. Really psychological thriller right here.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka's candies. These things are fairly good. They are gummies with like a little gel inside. When I bought these Trigs, they were 50 fucking cents. Do you know how many of these motherfuckers I bought? You're gonna be really disappointed in me, dude. I spent $19 on these candies to buy them.
That's fucking stupid, bro. You are fucking high. You are on, dude. You are taking too much of them CBD things, and you are on drugs. Dude.
You would have if I would have walked out of Walmart, and I would have been like, Triggs, I just bought a bunch of candies. You're like, what the fuck is that? I've been like, I spent $19 on these. You would have been extremely
irate.
You would have been so disappointed with me as a human being.
Dude, I would have been like, bro, do you know how many DiGiorno's you can get for $19? What the fuck's the matter with you,
32
dude?
bags of candies, dude. $30 to $19 worth of fucking candies.
Bro, man, do you know how many fucking
Living,
pizza
dude.
rolls you can get fucking
Living,
get for
bro.
$19?
College life,
Bro,
living all
you
over
are
again.
fucking high, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man,
Triggs,
chill
what do
out
you
with
got
your
planned?
CBD shit.
We got fucking Monday coming up. How does your week look, man?
Dude, Monday through Wednesday is going to be catch up on rest for Trigger.
Good shit, good shit. So you usually work towards the weekend, huh? Like the
Yeah,
second half?
Thursday through Saturday.
Cool. I'll be out working with a client tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be working with Dippin' Burgers. We've been working on logos and helping that company out, making
Sounds
some
good, man.
advertisement stuff. So doing some really cool stuff, man. Got some really cool things on the pipeline. Can't wait. I appreciate you, Trigger, for coming in. Brian, if you're still out there, I appreciate you too, man. I hope you feel better. Everybody out there in the comment section, we love you guys, and we appreciate you guys coming in with us on Sunday night. How are you liking our Sunday night format? Are you guys enjoying it? Are you guys cool with us coming in on Sunday right before you get ready for work on Monday? Is this something that you dig? Let us know in the comment section, or hit us up during the chats. Just hit up during the week. Fuck it. Message us in the comment section. Fuck it. Message me on my privates. I don't know. DMs, man. Guys, don't forget also to like, share, get the word out for the Average Boys podcast, letting people know where they can find us anywhere across the format on your podcasting app. And don't forget, if you want to help contribute to the podcast, let us know. Sponsors, donations, whatever you want to do. Fuck, if you want to send me a flarkin so that I could a cat flarkin that I can have it like just eat up all my bad stuff and clean my house, like, let's go. Triggs, I want to say thank you too, man, for coming in with me and sitting on the hot seat. And like I said, Brian will hopefully be back with us next week. And folks, to all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you for tuning in with us every weekend. And we hope we see you again here next Sunday night, 8 p.m. on the Average Boys podcast. It's been good, and we'll see you guys again next week. Laters.